Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Try to figure out this chat thing. Because chat's never fun. That's the one thing I struggle with. How we doing? I'm going to let everybody get in. Gonna get this up first. Are we recording? Yes. Am I streaming? Yes. Everything should look good? Yes. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Just getting everything up and running, and then we'll do things. I gotta close CapCut. I was editing earlier. Whoa. There we go. Let's close on my windows that I don't need. Then we'll reopen the ones that I do. Okay. I gotta figure out how we're gonna do the chatty chat tonight. Yeah, see, every time I want to do this, it doesn't want to pin it. Will that work? I don't know if I like it, but we'll figure it out. I'm up. Get my stream up. I might just have to open it. I honestly might just have to open it on Safari. We'll see. We'll see. There we go. Let me. Gonna mute everything now. You guys know how it is. But if you guys see the title, we're gonna have a good episode tonight. I just gotta get it to work. My fault. Earlier when I did this, my stream was kind of working well. I had it where the chat would stay where it needed to stay. And that's not the case now. So we're going to try to work on that for a minute. It gives you guys time to hop in. Hopefully you guys do so. And let me know. Let me know what you think. Got a couple people that have subscribed in the past days. That's good. Because I actually haven't made a video. I've just been making old clips and letting them go. So, anyways, I'm still working on this. I'm so sorry. I look like poop. For those who watch this later, you guys will just skip ahead, so that's fine, I guess. It's really just me, myself, and I trying to work on this. So that's fine. Oh, yes. Why won't it pin my chat, dude? Is there a reason it doesn't pin it? We'll figure it out. Dang, it'll look like crap if it's like that, but that's fine. Alrighty, welcome in, welcome in. So we're gonna go from now. I think this is a good. We've been trying to troubleshoot for 4 minutes, so I think at this point we just gotta go with it. This thing will look great. This thing will look great. First things first. Today is Memorial Day. Today is going to be a day, of course, that we honor the people that served, the people that died for this country. 2 of the 11 people that are on today's list are Air Force veterans. One is a 2-star general who commanded a $2.2 billion classified research program. The other was an intelligence officer who died before he could testify in a federal UFO whistleblowing case. This is how I'm spending my Memorial Day. I'm asking what happened to the people who served and then they disappeared. Let's turn the pages. Okay, so I want to read to you a list. First things first, of course, you might have noticed that was muted. I'm working on a new intro, and I'm tired of getting copywritten. So we're working on a new intro. We got the little animation for now, but we got to do what we got to do. But I want to read you a list. A nuclear fusion physicist was shot outside of his home. A rocket scientist who co-invented, these are all separate people, by the way. A rocket scientist who co-invented the metal alloy inside American national security rockets vanished 30 feet behind her hiking companion, never found. A retired Air Force general who commanded the lab where Roswell debris was allegedly sent walked out of his house without his phone, without his glasses, without his wearable devices. He took a gun and he was gone. Two Los Alamos employees both vanished within months of each other. Both had security clearances. That's in New Mexico. Quick nosedive. That's near where the Area 51 base is. A NASA engineer died July 4th, 2024. No cause of death ever released. No autopsy performed. Huh? Notice how these are all very, very, very intelligent people. All security clearanced out. A Caltech astrophysicist shot on his front porch. No apparent motive. A pharmaceutical scientist missing for 3 months at current. Was missing for 3 months at current. Then they were found in a lake. An anti-gravity researcher who said on recorded audio before she died that someone was running psychological warfare against her to stop her work. Dead. Ruled suicide. That is 11 people connected to America's most classified nuclear, aerospace, and defense programs. Dead or missing since 2022. So that's 4 years. The FBI is now officially investigating. Congress has opened a probe. The White House ordered a review. Trump on camera said, I'm quoting, pretty serious stuff. I hope it's coincidence. Now, if you're already on this channel, you don't believe in coincidence. That's why you're here, right? Trump said we would know in a week and a half. That was April 17th. So, sorry, Mr. Trump, but that was a month and a week at time of current. We are past that window. Nothing has been released. So, like I said, let's turn the pages on that. Segment 1, we're going to go over the full roster real fast. Let me pull up. We're going to pull up the stream just so I have that in the background. Make sure I don't miss anything if anybody's out here picking their nose in the chat. I want to make sure we don't catch them, right? Don't want to catch them. Catch them slipping. Okay. So that should be muted. I'm just triple stamping, triple checking because I don't want that to be a problem later on, of course. Of course. And yes, I'm recording, Corey. How you doing? How you doing? Hit that record button. Sorry I haven't been in the videos lately, guys. I've been in my yard. I'll probably post some videos and pictures of that later, but I've been in my yard. Been trying to spoil the wife a little bit, get her a nice backyard so her and the kid can have somewhere to hang out. Alrighty, so segment 1, chapter 1, we're going to go over the full roster that is in this investigation. And by the way, before I even do, I've had a couple of you guys ask me, flat out ask me, they're like, Ethan, where do you get this crap from? How do you figure this out? What are you doing? You're a husband, you're a full-time employee, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And let me just show you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I use a little bit of AI to help me out on this. But once I show you it, you're going to say, sheesh, the setup is crazy. Just kind of like Corey did. Now, you should be able to see this okay. I'm working with a tiny screen here, literally like a 2-inch block, just so I can see my chat. So we're trying to do what we can. I'm going to zoom up that a little bit. But right here, I have this setting on Claude. It's called Cowork. Should be able to see it. There we go. I don't know how bad is it. Dude, man, this screen is tiny. I need to adjust some things. So, here, scale the window. I don't even care how tiny it is. You guys can see it. If you can't, you'll tell me. So, right here, short and sweet, I have this setting called Cowork on Claude. It's the pro version, blah, 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 blah. But I have this AI that sets me an alternate news briefing every single week, 2 times a week on the nose. There was one for today, Monday, May 25th. Came out at 8 a.m., told me all sorts of stuff. I haven't even had a chance to read it yet because I've been in the yard. But wanted to show you guys, this is kind of where I'm getting a lot of my research from. I have it literally plugged into my computer, my phone. It knows a lot about who I am. Yes, that's very scary, but I'm using Anthropic. Anthropic's a pretty good company. They actually just disengaged from the military because they literally don't trust the leaks that have been going on. So I trust them more than other AI programs. We'll save that for a whole other episode. But the short and sweet of it is they send me news briefs. They send me news briefs based on things that I want to know about. So like short and sweet, we talk about a CIA whistleblower that talks about the lab leak theory with the COVID situation. Guy literally admits it. I was in the lab leak. Another guy talking about JFK and MK Ultra documents. So you see it. It's all hard-hitting stuff. Helps me out on my research. Just wanting to shout out that a little bit. I pay $20 a month for Claude. If you guys are heavy-hitting, hard-hitting content creators, you're going to need some form of AI to help you out. So that's just the truth. That's just the truth. I wanted to tell you that real quick, and then we'll dive right in. Okay. Good deal. So we got that right there. Boom. Okay, now let's go through every single person. This is the CNN investigation. As always, I like to put a little bit of CNN in my stuff because I don't want you guys to ever think that I don't, right? I don't want you guys to say, oh, he's biased. Oh, he's a conservative. Oh, he watches Fox News. First of all, I don't watch Fox News at all. Only thing you'll ever see me watch on Fox News, I might watch a little Greg Gutfeld. He's funny. He makes some funny jokes. He's just a comedian. He does a panel where they talk about current events and whatnot, but it's just for jokes. He has a good time, and it's late night television, basically. But you won't see me watch Fox News. You won't. You will see me occasionally read newses from other channels, including companies I actually disagree with. But that's the whole point of this, right? We want to be impartial to the situation. Now, as always, I gotta make this fit the stream, fit the camera. There we go. That's getting good. I'm getting better. I gotta just remember my margins is all. Remembering the margins is tough because I don't really stream much. I usually do this off stream. All right, at least 10 people tied to sensitive U.S. research have died or disappeared in recent years, sparking federal investigation. We've already done this in the high-level overview. It's been 4 years of this going on. They just now started doing this. Okay? Now, this thing has a whole list. Oh, no. CNN. We're going outside. I literally just got done hyping you up, and then you put me behind a paywall? All right, that's fine. That's fine. We have links for everybody individually. So we'll just go, that is ridiculous. That just snipped out literally 5 minutes of my stream. We're going to go through every person. We're going to start with the dead, and then we're going to start with missing. Or not start with. We're going to go with the missing. I want you guys to notice 2 things as we go. What they worked on, and then what was not said publicly, right? Because a lot of this stuff you're going to have to read about. It's not going to be a microphone in your face telling you about what's going on, right? So, first one's first, we're going to go through Michael David Hicks. He's a NASA Jet Propulsion Lab physicist. Hopefully this will be the link that works. But now that I think about it, I don't think it did actually go in order. Because this is... Did it? Oh, no, it did. Yeah, I apologize. One of the gentlemen is missing, and one of them is dead. That's the veterans. Some of these guys are vets, of course. That's why I wanted to do this episode today. Okay, so this is where the pattern starts. It's going to be with David Hicks. I'm going to just try to get to it. Find David Hicks. This gentleman right here, he was a physicist with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He died in 2023, July, at the age of 59. His cause of death was not publicly disclosed. Okay? That worries me for several reasons, and probably you guys as well too. But he was a scientist at America's flagship space research facility. The cause is never made public. No statement from JPL. No statement from NASA. I'll just ask you: is that normal? I'm not trying to speculate. I'm not trying to make any claims. Is that normal? I'm getting advertisements out the Yahoo just trying to share my screen. This is ridiculous. I mean, look at this. CBS News reviewed obituaries, statements from family members, and law enforcement findings and found no links between any of these deaths. So, I mean, publicly they're stating that there's no links at all. People are just dying, and that's totally normal. I don't choose to believe that. But if a professor at your local university died, you'd at least get a press release, right? Right? I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but a teacher at my old high school sadly took their life. And everybody knew about it within a week, including people that had graduated before me, including people that go to school with my sister, because it happened with my sister's grade group, if you will. But everybody knew about it immediately. And may they rest in peace, right? I'm not even going to gender the person because I don't want it to... Yeah, it's a private situation. The point is, if you went through something like that, we're going to know about it pretty quick. This guy died in July 2023. And he, by the way, he served at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory with NASA from 1998 to 2022. Can we just do some math real quick? He did that for a long time. Anybody here doesn't have to use a calculator to do some basic math. It's 24 years. He dies the year after. We're just asking questions, guys. We're just asking questions. I did tell you I'm going to read Fox News occasionally. I told you I don't watch Fox News. Because that's the whole point of this outfit. We want to be impartial. We want to look at all angles. Is it raining outside? It sure is. And see, that's why I'm inside. It's Memorial Day, but the weather ain't acting like it. That is just no fun. But we're going to read a Fox News link here in a moment. It's going to load. My computer's stressing out a little bit. And it does that. But we're gonna read a little Fox News. I'm getting all over the place today. I need to take my meds. I don't take meds. That was the joke. We have more of these guys. Every one of these articles is probably going to say some of the same stuff, but I'm going to post this one real quick because it's actually perfect. This is from Fox News. It talks about the actual scientists and, or not talks about, excuse me. It shows the scientists in a photo, which is perfect.
The FBI is
If I can get it to zoom in. There we go. So this is what they look like. These are all the people that are missing. And no, I don't have faces to the names of everybody. So we're not going to play who's who. We're not going to play who's who. That's not the game I want to play today. But these are the currently missing individuals. I say currently because I had to let this podcast episode breathe a little bit. For a while it was 10. For a while it was 11. Now we're at 12. Or I mean, not at 12. I think we're just at 11. Hopefully it doesn't get to 12. But now it's been 6 weeks of Trump saying that we're going to have an investigation on this and that he'd have an answer in a week and a half. That's not the case. So we're going to go over Frank Mywold, who's on here. Trying to skip to it because same thing. A lot of these links are going to, pretty much every one of these, I spelled his name wrong. Oh, I totally did. Most of these links are going to just be a timeline like everything. And that's the whole point. Is we're taking everybody's high-level overview and we're going to get a little bit autistic with our research. We're going to get a little autistic with our research and we're going to look at things a little bit more microscopically. throwing myself under the bus a little bit, one thing that us autistic people are genuinely good at is pattern recognition. So when you look at multiple links, right, you're going to start to develop a picture of things based on the subtext. If you guys don't know what subtext is, that's fine. 10 little second thing of it. It's when somebody types something, right? And you're reading between the lines. That's literally what subtext is. You see it a lot on social media. We've all seen it, right? Where people will type one thing literally, but we all know it means something else. I really don't like that kind of stuff in social structure. I actually get like the ick about it. Just say what you fucking mean. Excuse my French, but from a news standpoint, subtext is good because you can see what they are omitting, and what they omit is usually the most important part. So, Frank Meiwald, this gentleman died July 4th, 2024. He was 61 years old. He was a principal researcher at JPL, highly specialized engineer. He designed critical instruments for space missions. At the time of his death, he was working on the Surface Biology and Geology mission, SBG, designing a visible to short-wave infrared instrument to map Earth's living color. He had also worked on programs to help astronauts identify signs of life on icy moons like Europa and Enceladus. Meiwald died in Los Angeles on July 4th. Same thing. His cause of death was never made public. Now, zooming out for just a second, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because unless there's foul play, you technically don't really have to do a cause of death for anything. It's private, right? If I died tomorrow, there's never a guarantee that my cause of death is going to be publicized. Even if I was a celebrity, there's no guarantee of that. The public can choose to do so, or the family can choose to do so, but they don't have to make anything public. Now, focusing on some of his facts that were not in here, but I was able to determine from other key sources from this gentleman's case. Never publicly disclosed, no autopsy was performed. The only public record of his death is a brief online obituary. And that's the whole paper trail. Jet Propulsion Labs said nothing. NASA said nothing. A man who spent his entire career looking for signs of life in the universe. He died on the 4th of July. And the institution that he gave his life to didn't say anything about it. The 4th of July. Personally, I'm just writing down the date. I'm just noting the date. I don't know what you take with that information, but I think it is definitely a coincidence, if you will. This gentleman just poofs on the 4th of July one year, right after he stops working for this company. Is he in witness protection? I don't know. Is his family covering up his death? I don't know. Is he Machiavelli? I don't know. Did he get murdered? I don't know. I'm asking questions. To be making a pun, I'm just turning the pages. Right? Now, the next one we have... we might have some camera duty here because kiddo's not taking a nap. We're going to try to figure this one out here a little bit. Next one we have. This gentleman is dead. A lot of these guys are dead. I hate to say this. This one's live now, Fox. Same thing. We just bounce around. And before you guys get in my chat, I'm sure you guys already know this, but briefly labeling one important detail. Virtually everybody in the news media space is owned by the same few people. Now, before we get into this one, just want to make sure, give a little brief reminder, if you haven't already, like this video, share it with somebody, hit the subscribe if you haven't hit the subscribe already. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm a tiny little channel just trying to get bigger, right? Make sure you hit that like on the video at the very least. If you don't subscribe, just hit my like, so that way we can at least get this up, get viewed a little bit. As always, my goal is to put my wife out of work and have my kiddo be homeschooled. These are the two goals I have, and I'm very, 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 very importantly trying to work on getting them taken care of. So that's my little spiel. Let's get into the next let's get into the next gentleman here. Now, this guy's name is Carl Grillmeyer. Same thing. We got some Trump stuff. I'm not gonna post this video because I'm not gonna share this video because it's from Fox. So they're gonna make Trump look good, obviously. But just like before, we're gonna go straight to Grillmeyer. Carl Grillmeyer. And if I might be butchering some of these names, I apologize. Most of this stuff is just being read. I'm not watching a lot of video on it because I don't got time. It's easier to just text and type, right? That and personal belief that I've always held, and some of you have already heard it. I'm so sorry. I don't want to be redundant, but everybody's new and everybody's not new, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in really watching the news anymore. I believe in reading the news. You're going to be propagandized no matter what you do, but it's easier to read the news than to listen and watch the news. I feel like you're always going to get brainwashed if you watch it. So that's just my spiel. I was making a joke and I said I don't have the time. I can always listen to something when I'm in the car, but I prefer to read. So we're just going to read from Fox again. Carl Grillmeyer, a California Institute of Technology astrophysicist known for his work on exoplanets and the discovery of water on distant worlds, was shot and killed outside of his California home on February 16th, 2026. This is just 3 months ago. Grillmeyer, 67 years old, had spent decades working on major NASA-backed missions, including the Hubble and Spitzer space telescopes, contributing to research on galactic structure, dark matter, and the search for habitable planets. Authorities later arrested a 29-year-old suspect in connection with the killing, charging him with murder as well as carjacking and burglary in separate incidents. Investigators said the suspect had previously been reported for trespassing on Grillmeyer's property in the weeks leading up to the shooting. That's fun. That's very interesting. So he's shot and killed on his home porch, or on his front porch. This happened about 3 months ago. He's 67 years old. This happened in Los Angeles County. I know. Spare me your controversial opinions about Los Angeles County, California. That is not why we're here. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, please get off my channel. I don't want to do the left-right BS anymore. We're beyond that. We're beyond that. Stay on task, right? He worked on Hubble. He worked on Spitzer. He was famous for discovering water on distant exoplanets, dark matter, galactic structure. The guy that killed him was 40 years younger, 29 years old. He was charged with murder, stealing a car, and burglary. Now, reminding on this one thing I want to hone in on. The guy had been reported for trespassing on the guy's property, on Grillmeyer's property, for weeks before the shooting. Weeks before the shooting. A career criminal was repeatedly trespassing at a NASA scientist's home before he was killed. Was that flagged by anybody with security clearance concern? I don't know if I read that right. Was that flagged by anybody with security clearance? Those aren't crazy questions. Those are obvious questions. Very obvious questions that we should all be asking. Because as far as I'm concerned, and they're going to try to get you to believe this, right? They want the left and right division. They're going to have this guy have the Republicans on the channel think that, oh, we just got killed by LA. LA gang violence, blah, 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 blah. No. 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 Not at all. And they're going to play that weaselly stuff. That's what they always do. Remember, they own the news. They own the news. I don't believe for a minute that that was just a random shooting. Was he being stalked? Most likely. But was that an MK Ultra situation? We all know the vast majority of MK Ultra constituents are military-aged men. We know that. It's been proven. We know this. Okay? Stay with me. All right, now we're going to go to a left-leaning ragtag journalism. I'm just kidding. I'm only saying that because I went to two Fox links, and now I got to go over to another side. Next one we're going to go over. Whoops. Next one we're going to go over is Nuno. What's his name? How do I spell it? Because I want to get it right. Did I not get it? Oh, it looks like his name has multiple spellings. So I'm just going to share the article and whatever one. Okay, I think I might have misspelled it in my notes. So I'm going to assume the one on the screen share is going to be correct. Okay. Now, this is another gentleman that got shot at his house. So it's fun. Sure, there's just no big deal. NASA scientists are just getting shot left and right. No big deal. Scientists are just getting murdered in their homes. Totally normal. Totally normal. So, reading it from the top. Investigators say MIT professor Nuno Loureiro or Loureiro? Nuno. We're just going to say Nuno. Nuno was an expert in fusion and plasma physics. He was shot and killed at his home in the Boston area last December by Claudio Neves Valente, a jealous former engineering classmate who had studied in the same program with Nuno 2 decades ago. Now, this is like the one that I think we all remember seeing on the news. This was the one that it actually kind of did. Oh, it looks like, I'm sorry, CBS did spell it wrong. I had it right. Goodness gracious. CBS, get your stuff right. So Nuno, we actually remember this one a little bit because this happened just last year. This happened a week before Christmas. That's what was part of the reason it was so sad. He worked at MIT. He was killed at his house, and they say that he was killed by a jealous old classmate, essentially, right? That's that story. Back on CBS, they're going to say that it was a jealous former engineering classmate who had studied with him. Yep. Valente, who had spent time at Brown University's engineering program, also carried out a mass shooting on that campus that killed 2 students and wounded 9 others a day before he killed Nuno. Guys, and I might have to press pause here for a moment because I got the kiddo about to, get up in a moment. Let me just ask you, when's the last time you've ever heard of a school shooting, a mass shooting from the school, that the guy gets away and then he gets at another shooting? And I'm pretty sure he got away again, and I'm pretty sure he just sewer slided. I'm pretty sure he was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in it. He sewer slided on his way out. If I remember right. And I'm not going to do him the benefit of pulling up his name and giving him his face and all that on the stream because I don't believe in that stuff. But I will put the dog on the stream. Hello, Maya. Hello, Maya. Hello, wifey. No, let's just zoom back in. School shooter kills the guy at his house after breaking in the night. I think it's either the night or the morning after. I'll double check here in a second. And then he sewer slides. The shooter was supposedly, one of the only things I don't like about Mac. It puts your footer where all your apps are. You know what it is. You put your footer on the bottom and you got your 2 screens. It always goes back and forth between the screen. I'm just trying to keep a nice stream here. Golly. But, guys, let's focus on the victim real quick. So he was shot and killed at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. December 15th, roughly, 2025. He was 47 years old. Director of the MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center. He was a leading figure in nuclear fusion globally. Nuno was recognized globally. He had a magnetic reconnection idea that was just ridiculous. Next generation clean energy. I'm not even going to pretend to act like I understand how brilliant this guy is. I'm not that intelligent. I've got the type of autism where when somebody says something to me, I can know that they're lying and I can do mental math in my head like that, right? That's my kind of autism. We call it Rubik's Cube autism because I'm really good at doing Rubik's Cubes, right? Sure, we'll go with that. I don't have the engineering autism. I don't. So for those who do, look more into this guy, though. He had next generation clean energy. The shooter was a Portuguese national. He was a former engineering classmate from 2 decades prior. I don't hold grudges for 2 decades. Personally, 2 decades, that would put me at 2nd grade. I know one girl from my 2nd grade class. And no, it's not because I had a crush on her. She just had a funny name. I remember one girl from my 2nd grade class. There's no way I could hold a grudge against somebody from 2nd grade, dude. I remember my teacher, Mrs. Krug. She's probably deceased now. Rest in peace to her. But you get my point, boys. There's like no way. There's no way. I don't know how that works. I don't believe in that one. But the day before, let's focus on that day before. He carried out a mass shooting at Brown University, killed 2 students, wounded 9. The FBI just concluded about a month ago, April 29th, there was no terrorism nexus. It was a personal motive with professional dissatisfaction. Now, guys, a man shoots up a university and then drives to Boston specifically to kill the director of MIT's Fusion Research Center the next day. The FBI says it's personal. No terrorism motive. He just had a multi-location shootout. Maybe, sure. But he didn't shoot up a Starbucks. He targeted one of the most important energy scientists in the country. The specificity of that target alone is worth noting regardless of the inherent motive. I would personally argue this is the biggest profile case of the 11, and the only reason we know about it, again, personal argument, the only reason we know about it is because there was a mass shooting attached to it. Let's question the shooting. Maybe I need to do a deep dive episode on the shooting alone with just Nuno's death and the mass shooter. Because Claudio Valente, and if I'm butchering his name, who gives a fuck? He's a mass shooter, right? Excuse the French. Trying to get better at not speaking French. I'm an American. Claudio, if I'm butchering your name, I'm sorry, but I don't care about you. You're a shooter. Right? I'm just wondering what the connections could be that he may be MK Ultra. I've never heard of somebody getting away from a mass shooting. And I know somebody's going to correct me once they see this video later on. Oh, yeah, they do. They do. It happens like this. I've never heard of a school shooter getting away. Ever. He hit 11 people and he gets away. I don't believe that. Dude. Maybe I need to do that episode deep dive already. I don't know. Supposedly. Did he kill himself? I need to know before I get out of here. Claudio Valente. How did he die? Did he blast himself? He blasted himself, right? So he had 2 shooting locations and then he sewer slides. There's no way. I no. You might be able to sell that story to somebody else, but I don't believe in it, man. I don't believe in it. If you want to believe in that, that's fine. I don't have any shade against you. Right? But we're just asking questions over here. I'm trying to be better at running a stream. I've only done this a few times. Hopefully you guys like me. We're not even close to done. We're only like a third of the way through these names. If you don't like me, that's fine. You're new here. I'll get better. Please tell me how I can, by the way. If I'm doing something you dislike, I'm open to criticism. I fixed the headspace, right? I was way up here a couple episodes ago. Now, I could probably go a little bit lower too. Probably go even a little bit lower. There you go. I'm trying to be receptive. I want to be a better performer. I told you guys what my goals are. I want to get my wife out of work. So there you go. Little reminder again. Tap in, bell, subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into the next gentleman. Now, this is Jason Thomas. He is a pharmaceutical scientist for Novartis. Is that how you say his name? Oh, I did that thing again where I accidentally made the screen full screen. Sorry about that. I got distracted. All right, Jason Thomas. Let's pull him up. This one is the other link. I've already pulled up Fox LA. This I actually kind of like this because it's a short and sweet. A guy made a really good timeline on it. I just don't want to stay on it for too long because anytime you guys see a Fox News link, you think it's bad. And I understand. I actually share that belief. But again, trying to keep things at arm length, not being so cross-eyed about it all. Right? Now, Jason Thomas, again, deceased. Deceased. He's a scientist and director at Novartis. I'm going to click off that. That's a bad, dark highlight. At Novartis, he went missing from his home in Wakefield, Massachusetts in December 2025. Same time, Nuno went missing. Or, excuse me, Nuno got killed. Same time that Nuno got killed. And may he rest in peace. His body, this is where it gets fun. His body was recovered from Lake. Wow, I live in Washington and I'm going to struggle with that one. Lake Quinnapowitt. I think that I hit that one. Lake Quinnapowitt. In March 2026, 3 months after he went missing. Now, supposedly the police have found no evidence of foul play, but let's zoom out. Let's ask a question to one another. Guys, let's ask a question. Can I ask you a question? If you went missing off your front porch and I never found you, and then they found you in a lake. I mean, how far away is this lake? Let's look into this. Lake Quinnapowitt. It's in Wakefield. I don't know where his home is in Wakefield, so I'm not going to dox the guy. Rest in peace, right? But we'll just assume it's a few miles away from his house. A few miles, to be conservative. Because the lake near my house, I mean, shit, depending on what side you're on, right? It could be 5 miles away from your home. It could be 2 miles away from your home. If you drive all the way around the other side, it could be almost 10 miles away from home, right? I got a lake right by my house. Great golf course. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful. I'm blessed. I don't live on a golf course or anything like that. I live kind of in the better part of the neighborhood. I got an HOA, but it's like $30 a month HOA. About $100 a month HOA. You guys know what I'm talking about. I got a nice house, but it's not like that. It's like I'm a young man who owns his first home. Boom. That's where I'm at. I'm a middle-class American, if that still exists. Now, he went missing about 5 miles from home, 3 to 5 miles from home. He died, he went missing from his home. He died 3 to 5 miles away because his family is the one who reported him missing. He's dead. Let's get into some of his details because that's just what Fox said. What I was able to determine from other locations, he was an associate director of chemical biology. Oh, excuse me. We already went over that. He disappeared at 45. He left home late at night. That's what his family said. He left his phone behind. He left his wallet behind. Surveillance footage captured him walking near train tracks after midnight. And then his body was recovered March 17th, 2026. Yeah, it looks like Fox didn't even put the day in. So there you go. Your mainstream media will say the month that they disappeared and the month they died, but it won't say the day. Please take note of the subtext, guys. That's what I wanted you guys to focus on, the subtext. What are they not writing? His body was recovered March 17th from Lake Quinnapowitt. I hope I'm saying that right. 3 months later after the ice thawed. Because, right, guys, this is Massachusetts. Anybody that's lived in the Northeast and good old New England, They be snowing over there. He got disappeared in the winter. He didn't show up till the ice thawed. Cause and manner of death was not publicly disclosed, and no foul play was suspected officially. Phone at home, wallet at home, midnight, train tracks. Body in a lake 3 months later when the ice melts. No foul play. Please read that back to yourself. Please. I don't sound right. Secondly, let's assume he was preserved by the ice. I don't want to get graphic, but let's get graphic. If he was preserved by the ice, he would be preserved by the ice. His injuries would be preserved. His state of mortem or his state of mortality would be preserved. How his body looked post-mortem would remain the same. And yet they have no evidence of what occurred to him. Okay. I'm sure. That's totally fine and dandy. Now, I want to just give you guys a little note that I actually saw here from Fox. I actually didn't see this at first until I just pulled up this link. Same thing. It's one of the same links we've been going over. I'm just doing that thing where we do Control F because it helps me find people quicker when I'm trying to do this live. There we go. So what I wanted to say, though, is 4 of these 11 cases are tied to LA County alone. That's pretty proximal. One county is where almost half a dozen nuclear scientists and jet scientists and rocket scientists are going missing. I don't want to say it's not rocket science, boys, but it actually is. We need to figure out what's going on here. Us little non-rocket scientists need to figure out what's going on. So, let's talk about Amy Eskridge. Here it is. Reading from Fox, because again, I just like their timeline. It's short, sweet, and makes it nice and easy for us to follow along. Amy Eskridge died on June 11th, 2022 in Huntsville, Alabama. While authorities officially ruled her death a self-inflicted gunshot wound, several factors have contributed to the ongoing public debate and intense scrutiny surrounding the case. An interviews and podcasts recorded prior to her death, notably in 2020 and in 2021, Amy Eskridge alleged that she and her team were being subjected to harassment and, quote, psychological warfare, end quote, intended to stop her work on anti-gravity and exotic physics at the Institute for Exotic Science. Now, I'm going to try to pull this up on Twitter. We're going to pull up the talking head just in case I get some dancing anime girls to pull up on Twitter. I don't want that, obviously. We're trying to run a high IQ outfit. Shout out Baron Coleman. I like to pull a little verbiage from him. That was a good one when he said high IQ outfit, because that is what I personally like to identify as. I have a 137. You let me know yours. No exaggeration. Now, I want to pull up Amy Eskridge on Twitter because I'm sure there's going to be some good stuff. Beautiful. This is the gal right here. If it'll work. Perfect. There we go. So this is her. And may she rest in peace. May she rest in peace. But this is just a real quick snapshot of what she looks like. This is something she said years ago, of course.
Well, so the ultra terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
You guys heard all that? Let's go high level. So this gal, she goes on podcast. She says that she's being harassed. She's being subjected to psychological operations at work. While she's lucid, she says that. She literally says P47, P52. It's talking about present day plus 47,000 years of human development. Present day plus 52,000 years of human development. Let's zoom out. Let's get biblical. Guys, let's get biblical. The story of Genesis is about 6,000 years old from today to pass, right? They say it's been about 6,000 years since Adam and Eve. If I took my little iPhone, which I'm recording on, if I took my iPhone, gave it to Adam and Eve, they would almost immediately say that's the mark of the beast, right? They would almost immediately say it. Now, that's only 6,000 years of human development. Times that by almost 10, times that by 8, times that by 9, right? Come on. Can we think about that for a second? From 6,000 years ago to now, if we trust the biblical story, and even if you don't trust the biblical story, we'll just say cavemen. I trust both, by the way. If you want my actual take, I think evolution and religion are actually a beautiful couple that are married, and they have their disputes and they have their arguments, but ultimately they love each other, and they cannot get by in this life without each other. That's my belief. I think science and religion are a married couple, and they're beautiful. I think they have their time and their place, and they're both correct. But if you trust the story of Genesis, it's beautiful. It's written very easily. It's about 6,000 years ago to now. If you want to go the Graham Hancock route, right? Graham Hancock actually alleges that there was a super advanced civilization before the flood, antediluvian, which is literally Latin for pre-flood. Every ancient civilization talks about a flood. Our ancient civilization, Christians, we talk about a flood. The Jews talk about a flood. I'm pretty sure Islam has a flood. Everybody has a flood myth of some sort. And this gal is openly stating, and you heard how confidently she said it. Let's just full stop there, okay? She so confidently said that it's us from the future. She said some of us, when there was a earth-changing event, we went underground. And we resurfaced when it was safe again. That's not even the first time that type of belief structure set has hit a mainline theory before. That's what they think some of the humans got away from the first flood. They think they got them underground. The Seneca tribe. The Seneca tribe talks about the ancient, oh shit, I forget what they're called, but they talk about ginger-haired giants that they blocked away in a cave and then they lit the cave on fire. That could be symbolic or it could be literal, right? But what I'm saying is this stuff happens before. She is so confidently stating that aliens are us from the future, and then she kills herself. After basically doing everything but stating she's not suicidal and people are trying to get her, right? Amy Eskridge is probably the most important one to me. Because she was on the podcast circuit. And I could show you guys more clips if you'd like to see them. Please let me know. I want to stay on task and get to the next person, of course. But if you want to show, or if you want me to show more clips on her, dude, there's so many. She was actually such a smart young woman. She wasn't very old. You see it right there. She had her whole life ahead of her. 2 years after that, though, after she was saying on record that she was being chased and harassed at work, she died by a suicide. I'm not trying to draw a conclusion. I'm just reading what she said in her own words. Now, these are the people that are dead. Now we're going to get into the people that are just technically missing. Just technically missing. Okay, yeah, I was going to say I haven't gotten to that general yet. Okay, so he's missing. Good. So next one up, we have Monica Jacinto Reza. Same thing, NASA Jet Propulsion Lab scientist and Aerojet Rocketdyne. Rocketdyne? I don't know how you say it. Okay, just trying to get the advertisements to stop loading before I share my screen. Goodness. You know how it is. You open up a link and then it goes ping, 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 right? I'm getting one of those. So this one is News Nation. We're throwing a curveball. Throwing a curveball. This one's a great, great article. It's actually just a heads up on her alone, I believe. We'll read down as it gets to it. But this is about Monica Reza. She is 60 years old. I say was because it's been over a year, guys. Or almost over a year, guys. I think we need to get honest with ourselves. She was last seen 6/22/2025 around 9:10 a.m. according to, again, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. She went out for a hike in Angeles National Forest with a companion, and her last known location was near the Mount Waterman area on Angeles Crest Highway. Now, for my friends in the chat that like those missing persons things, the missing 411 videos and all those stuff, guys, people go missing near mountains. A lot of conspiracies tie those two things together, mountains and missing people. You could say it's aliens. If you didn't live down in Appalachia, you could say that it's cryptids, Wendigos and the skinwalkers. You could say all sorts of stuff, right? But one thing is a fact. People go missing in proximity to large mountains, which is ironic because it's a huge landmark. You'd think that you would not run into that issue, but yet you do. She set out for a hike in Los Angeles National Forest with her companion. Her last known location was near the mountain, on the highway, or near the highway. Police report that she was about 30 feet behind the person she was walking with, smiling and waving. When the person turned back around, she was gone. Without a trace, they say. Rescue teams searched for days, but her body was never recovered. Monica is listed on LinkedIn as a fellow in the Materials Science and Engineering Department at Aerojet Rocketdyne, a rocket engine design and production company headquartered in the San Fernando Valley. Now, it goes on to describe more things about other people. This was more just about her, but let's focus in. She's been missing for 11 months. She's 60 years old. She spent 37 years at Aerojet. She's the director of materials processing at NASA. She co-invented Mondalloy, a nickel-based superalloy inside American national security rockets. Not abstract research. This alloy is an active U.S. propulsion systems. She co-patented bird-resistant, high-strength metal alloys for next-generation aerospace. She's also linked to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, reportedly stationed there at the same time as General McCaslin, who we'll get to in a minute. The disappearance, which again, I want to explore that angle. She was hiking with a female and male companion from her yoga group near Mount Waterman at about 9 a.m. The female companion stopped part way. I think she was just feeling a little out of breath, so she stayed back. The male and her went forward. The male told her to turn north. She waved in acknowledgement. He turned back around, and she was gone. The fluorothermal imaging came back negative. Scent dogs tracked to her hat. Trail ended. No body has been found in over a year of searching. Usually, they at least find bones at this point. To say the quieter, darker part out loud, they haven't even found her bones. So we need to explore some details there. Yikes. I don't even like talking about that. Bones. Yuck. Okay. LA Magazine, because again, a lot of this happens in LA. This talks more about her, including her missing persons, picture. I'd like to show it. Hopefully, God forbid she's not dead, but hopefully we can at least find her body and get her back to her family. She's only 4'11", very tiny gal. 101 pounds, very petite, gray hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing this outfit. This is what she looked like the day she went missing. I just want to put that up here while I talk about more of the facts on her. When search teams arrived and began searching north, the direction he told her to go, the companion became irritated, insisted that they search south instead, which is the opposite direction. Search volunteers blocked from sharing previous search routes. Organizers were very guarded with information. A geoprofiler was on record stating, quote, "She was fit, experienced, intelligent. I don't see her wandering off and getting lost." Which, guys, I just read her resume. She's brilliant. JPL said nothing. NASA has said nothing. Aerojet Rocketdyne has said nothing. Her whole resume has not acknowledged her disappearance publicly. Her family has not been contacted by federal investigators, despite the White House announcing a review that specifically named her case. The woman who invented the alloy inside American rockets vanished. Her companion told her to go north and then argued with search teams for searching north. Her employers have said nothing, and her family says that the FBI has not contacted them. Never. That's not okay for me. It really isn't. So hopefully we can find Monica, but if not, may she rest in peace. Hopefully we can find her. Next up, this is the one that's probably the highest profile because of the resume, but it could be argued if it's actually the most high profile. General McCaslin. A lot of my veterans already know this guy. Retired Major General William Neal McCaslin, U.S. Air Force. He's been missing since my anniversary. Been missing since February 27, 2026. Age 68 years old. Albuquerque, New Mexico is his last location. He's the former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is in Ohio. He oversaw the Air Force's $2.2 billion science and technology program. At Wright-Patterson, that's the headquarters of Project Blue Book, which you guys already know about. That's long rumored to house Roswell debris. He commanded that exact laboratory. Now, he left behind his prescription glasses that are in this photo, his phone, and his wearable devices. Boys, you and I both know, if we're taking a good little photo, we usually don't even care to have our glasses. Sometimes we might actually take them off on purpose because we don't like wearing our glasses. It's whatever, right? He took his glasses for his professional photo, so he clearly likes wearing them. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm establishing a case here. He didn't take his frickin' phone or his prescription glasses or even his Apple Watch, right? And for anybody who's military and has wearable devices like Apple Watches and whatnot, those people are usually fitness heads. They want to know how many steps they got. They want to know their heart rate. They want to make sure that their respiratory's good. And this is good. I think we should all be that way. I wish I had an Apple Watch, to be honest with you. They're just kind of expensive. But where I'm going with this here is everything about his last day was very much out of character for him. He left behind phone, wallet, glasses, and his wearables. He took. Oh, I'm sorry. He did take his wallet. I jumbled the lines. I'm super sorry. He took a red backpack, a wallet, his hiking boots, a .38 revolver with the leather holster. After 3 weeks, his hiking boots were found at his vacation home. Still unconfirmed because they don't know if it's tied to his disappearance or if he genuinely just had them there from the last time he was there. It's suspected that he took those boots with him. As you know, humans, we misremember things at incredible rates. Our memories are not very good. It's why I and many others have notes when we do these things. Because, I mean, just on the more innocent of level, I'll get off task, right? And on the more guilty of levels, your spouse goes missing and you don't know what shoes they took, right? A gray Air Force sweatshirt was found 1.25 miles from his home 8 days after his disappearance, but his family hasn't confirmed it's his. 700 plus homes have been canvassed. Drones, helicopters, canine units, no confirmed trace. That's a concern for me. Up next we have, let me see. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, this one's cool. So, this is an IB Times UK, International Business Times UK link about General McCasland. Who here likes punk rock? Who here likes punk rock, dude? Do you guys like a little band called Blink 182? Huh? You guys like Blink 182? Trying to find it right here. Oh gosh, I don't need these pop-ups. Goodness, is this literally, that's the ad. Oh my gosh. We'll try to get that come up again. International Business Times. Why am I getting a freaking scam pop-up? It's ridiculous. Anyways, Tom DeLonge, boys. That's what I wanted to show. Tom DeLonge. Okay, I don't want to deal with this. They're gonna try to get my ass. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to get out of here. United Kingdom, you guys need to work on your guys' ads and pop-ups and websites. This is why nobody trusts the news. For crying out loud. Is it gonna work? Whoops, I definitely don't want to add this as a favorite. It doesn't even work. Here we go. Tom DeLonge. Now, a couple of things that really worry me. He met with somebody in Hollywood, and I've highlighted it here. I want you guys to see it. Russian hackers leaked emails from Hillary Clinton's former campaign chairman, John Podesta, in 2016. Guys, remember John Podesta? If you haven't, I've posted evidence of his crimes on my YouTube before, and I'm not ever going to post it again because it made me cry just watching it the first time. John Podesta is the guy that really likes harming kids. To say it short and sweet, his abuse goes from anywhere from psychological and verbal to physical to sexual to lethal. And anywhere in between. That is not speculation. That is not hearsay. That is not hearsay. That is a fact. And if they don't believe me, holy shit, please sue me. We'll go to court about it and I will prove you wrong in a court of law. John Podesta harms kids. He's worked for Obama. He's worked for Clinton. He's worked for both Hillary and Bill. And I think he also worked with the Bushes. So don't hit me with that. It's left. It's right. No, it's both sides. That's the freaking problem here. John Podesta, as you can tell, gets me riled up because I've seen so much evidence of the crimes that he's done. I've seen his art collection. I've listened to the videos. I've listened to the transcripts. I've read the tapes. I've read it all. It's sickening. John Podesta might actually be worse than Jeffrey Epstein. He's linked to Jeffrey Epstein too. So all of, you know what I mean? He gets to a point where all of these people are connected. And it's an issue for me. Now, Neil McCasland's emails were not necessarily related to John Podesta. It was John Podesta's emails that got leaked alleging that Blink-182 guitarist Tom DeLonge, a guy I like, I've listened to him live, they alleged that he and General McCasland were basically buddies and that he was working on his UFO disclosure project. Also said that he was very, very aware of classified material. So, This link is a little bit buttery, and I'm not going to stay on it all day long because I don't want to run any issues. But focusing on some of the facts that I was able to get from it. Tom DeLonge actually was the one who emailed John Podesta. It was not McCaslin. It was Tom DeLonge, which sucks because that means that a guy I like was talking to somebody that's a piece of demonic shit. This came out in the 2016 WikiLeaks file. Tom DeLonge emailed John Podesta about Caslin. His exact words, quote, "When Roswell crashed, they shipped it to the laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. General McCaslin was in charge of that exact laboratory up to a couple years ago. He not only knows about what I'm trying to achieve, he helped assemble my advisory team. A Google Hangout was scheduled between, that's the end of the quote. A Google Hangout was scheduled between McCaslin, Podesta, DeLonge, and Lockheed Martin Skunk Works VP Rob Weiss, and a retired Air Force general who I was unable to find by name. Congressman Eric Burleson said on record, quote, General McCaslin is definitely connected to the UAP topic. We believe he has a lot to say about this topic. His wife's response said his secrets were, quote, dated. Taking him for them was quite unlikely. What does that mean? Oh, confirmed UAP involvement ended after the WikiLeaks hack. So, the man who commanded the lab where Roswell materials were allegedly sent, who was in private meetings with Podesta and Lockheed Martin, who oversaw $2.2 billion in classified research. He left without his home, his glasses, none of his good stuff. He just poofed. He goes, I gotta go. But he took a gun. But he was quick to take a gun. He's never been found. Never been found. Who's next? We're going to go into Melissa Casillas, I think is her name. Melissa Casillas pulling back up the CNN link. Oh, they're gonna hit me with the, I forgot. They did that earlier. They're gonna hit me with the paywall. This one will be short and sweet. She's been missing since June 26, 2025. She's 53 years old. She was last seen walking alone on a highway near Talpa, New Mexico. Now, she's an administrative employee at Los Alamos with a security clearance. That morning, she picked up a sandwich, dropped it off to her daughter in Teos. Normal day. Then she was walking alone on a highway. She disappears. Here's the craziest fact of all. In my opinion. Her phone had been factory reset before she disappeared. No foul play was suspected. No body, no leads. So she factory reset her phone. And then she's on a highway all by herself just walking. If you weren't planning to disappear, why did you wipe your phone? Plus, what a convenient getaway. I mean, guys, nobody hitchhikes in 2026. It's the perfect staged getaway. You reach out to them before you wipe the phone. You say, I'll be at this location, mile marker, blah, 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 blah. You stick your thumb out when they're getting ready to drive by. You get picked up. Nobody hitchhikes anymore. That's literally the most perfect ploy to get disappeared. Or, on a more sinister case, maybe she got murdered by a trucker who was her hitchhiker. I don't know. Why would she wipe her phone, though? I think she disappeared on purpose. I don't think she went missing. But that one's interesting. Next up, we have Anthony Chavez. Anthony Chavez is another Los Alamos National Lab employee. Here, hold on. Let me go like this. Just want to get everything in a row here. Is it still muted? Excellent. Okay, let me check the time here. Okay, wow, we're about 75 minutes in. Okay, haven't said in a while. A little self-plug. If you guys haven't already, give me a like, give me a subscribe, right? I mean, I'm going over stuff that most people aren't going over right now. At the start of this interview, good God. At the start of this podcast, I didn't even know the faces to the names, right? I knew the faces. Now we're going into the names. So if you like what I've given you so far, please give me a subscribe, give me a follow, give me all that good stuff. I'm in the middle of working on an intro, baby. And then hopefully I don't get copyrighted anymore. I can finally go with my account and I take my wife out of work and we can do all the fun things, because I'll just cut to it, guys. If I made $3-4 grand a month doing podcasting and then I kept my day job, well, shoot, she could still quit her job. I could just work too. And I'm okay with that, boys. I really am. So please, if you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, give me a share. If you want me to do a little rump shaking on the back, I can do a little rump shaking on the back. You just got to let me know and I'll do it. Please don't. I haven't stretched. I haven't stretched. There's no way I'm getting up on the wall twerking right now. But let's get into Anthony Chavez. Did I spell his name right? You know how that always is. Oh, no. Oh, Axios. Same thing. They're going to make me subscribe. Guys, dude, this right here. This is why nobody trusts mainstream journalism anymore. Have I ever told you I'm not going to discuss something unless you pay me first? Have I? No. I asked for a like, share, and subscribe. And this is why I have AI do a lot of my research for me. So fun fact, guys, AI, when it does research for you, it can actually pull through some of the paid paywall links, and it can do a lot of the research for you too. So anyways, Axios, good company, but they're paywalling me today, which is fine. I forgot that I've already used my little free links from them or whatever, and they're wanting me to sign in now. So Axios, big company. We're talking about Anthony Chavez. This guy's been missing since May 2025. This guy's 78. Los Alamos, New Mexico. He was the foreman supervising construction at Los Alamos. Had to have security clearance. Now, I think it's about 700,000 people in the United States of America have security clearances. My own father had a security clearance. One of my dad's best friends still does have a security clearance, if I remember right. They're not actually as hard to get as you think, but you do have to go through a very rigorous background check. They're not just handing these out like lunch cards, right? This is usually something that's given to high level, high IQ, very trustworthy individuals, people that they know are not going to become a security risk. That's the whole point of it. It's a security clearance. We got to make sure that whoever knows this information is not going to weaponize it against us later on, right? So this guy is basically an 80-year-old man with a security clearance. He was the old foreman. He just disappeared, right? He had no signs of foul play, no signs of any activity in the home. Literally, the home is just spick and span. No indication that he planned to leave. His friend, Carl Buckland, said, quote, "It's about time when authorities finally took this seriously." Now, two people from the same facility, which that's the birthplace of the nuclear bomb, by the way, two people from the same facility both vanished within months of each other. And like his friend Carl said, it's about time we start investigating it. And I'll be frank, I think I'm doing more of an investigation than the news actually is. Same thing, I got another article that won't pull up most likely. And that's okay. It's Axios again. Same article, but it says missing since 2025. This is Steven Garcia. Same thing. Notice how a lot of these articles will not go over the dates. I'm going to see if I can find it. When did he go missing? Beautiful. Okay, I got a second link. Fox News, dude. I don't want to give them no love, but they actually gave me some journalism this time around. Don't hit me with the faux news or fake News or whatever you guys want to call Fox. At least this time, they gave me what I was looking for, which is good. Because the other companies want to paywall me bad. I mean, these guys just want to put a bunch of advertisements on me. And look, when it comes to mainstream journalism, that's how it's going to be. You're either going to get advertisements to pay for the article, or you're going to have to pay for the article. I'd rather just get advertisements because I can say no. Now, this is what the gentleman looks like. He's right here. He's among the missing. Now, as you see, look at this. This was literally just last month. Last month, it was 10. The number is now 11. That's why I had to wait a little bit. I had to wait a little bit on this because I just knew. I was like, man, if I go too early, I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss a lot. And even just this week, I had to update my script with more stuff. More stuff. Because more stuff has come out. Steven Garcia vanished from his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A lot of guys missing in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He missed him on August 28, 2025. Just 2 days before his 48th birthday. He was last seen on foot leaving his home with only a handgun. He has not been seen since. Okay. That's fun. So, let's just think a little bit. He worked for the New Mexico division of the Kansas City National Security Campus, which is a nuclear weapons component production facility. Just like the freaking General McCaslin, he left his home with a gun. Now, 3 people with security clearances connected to nuclear programs, Cassius, Chavez, and Garcia, all disappear within 4 months of each other, all disappear in New Mexico. Supposedly, there's no connection to any of this, guys. I mean, no connection at all. So that's what Chapter 2 is about. It's actually perfect and succinct. It's literally, Chapter 2 is called The Connections. So let's get into those a little bit today. Let's have a little good fun there. And yes, I got my little stream up here. Got to make sure I'm looking good. Make sure you like, subscribe. I threw out a word without a B in there. Let's get into Chapter 2, though. I want to talk about Chapter 2 real quick. I'm going to bring it up to a high level here and get my links ready. Now we're going to go over the House Oversight Official Letter. I'm not connecting any dots that are not there. I am just reading the dots that are on the page. And again, this is the House Oversight Committee. So this is an official government document, to just spell that out. I think that'll work. It might be a little small on your screen, so I apologize. It's titled, Comer and Burleson seek information on missing nuclear and rocket scientists. Published 4/20/2026. Cheers. Now, there's some stuff up here that's fluffy. Today they are seeking information from the Department of Energy, Department of War, FBI, and NASA about the scientists and other personnel connected to U.S. nuclear secrets or rocket tech who have died or mysteriously vanished. Quotes. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is investigating recent unconfirmed public reporting on the disappearance and death of individuals with access to sensitive U.S. scientific information. These reports allege that at least 10 individuals who had a connection to U.S. nuclear secrets or rocket tech have died or mysteriously vanished in recent years. If the reports are accurate, these deaths and disappearances may represent a grave threat to U.S. national security and to U.S. personnel with access to scientific secrets. We request a briefing on any information regarding these deaths and disappearances, as well as the processes and procedures in place to protect American scientific secrets and ensure personnel safety. Wrote the lawmakers. So again, this is Congress, okay? This is the House. It's the whole point. It's the House Oversight Committee. More stuff. Public records or public reports raise questions about a possible sinister connection between a string of mysterious deaths and disappearances, which began in 2023 with the death of Michael David Hicks, who worked as a scientist at the NASA JPL from 1998 to 2022. Other JPL alum Monica Reza, who served as the director of the NASA Lab Materials Processing Group, disappeared while hiking in California June 2025. She remains missing. In February 2026, you guys get it. All of this stuff we've actually talked about for the most part. But getting into some of the crazier stuff here. So there you go. So 2 people on this list already have a documented connection to the same specific classified facility. One vanished on a hike, one walked away with a gun. Both are still missing. The New Mexico cluster, which we've examined a little bit, but to go deeper into, which, by the way, guys, Chris Wright, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, and Jared Isaacman for NASA, all of these people have written in-depth letters about what they want to see take place on this. They need it. They want to make sure that we're properly taken care of, but just saying their credentials. Department of Energy Secretary, Department of War Secretary, Director of the FBI, and the Administrator for NASA. These are high-level people that are writing in through Congress saying, guys, we need your help. For lack of better phrasing, this is exactly what politics are about. This right here. It's not about should we ban abortion or get rid of gay marriage. It's not about should we build that wall. It's not about should we go to war for a country that we can't even pronounce. It's not about any of that. It's about representation. And that's what that is right there. People wrote in via letters and said there's something wrong here. We need an investigation. And eventually we're getting it. Sadly, it's taking too damn long. So now we got to go individual, right? Examining the New Mexico cluster, we have McCaslin from Albuquerque, Casillas from Los Alamos, Chavez from Los Alamos, and Garcia from the Kansas City National Security Campus, but at the New Mexico division. These 4 people with security clearances are connected to nuclear programs. All of them are in New Mexico, all missing within roughly 1 year of each other. And again, reminder that New Mexico is also where the Roswell debris was found in 1947. The geography keeps pointing to the same places. That's New Mexico. Then we have the JPL/Los Angeles cluster. We have Hicks, who died in 2023, tied to JPL. Again, Jet Propulsion Lab. Mywald died in July 4th, 2024. Jet Propulsion Lab, JPL. No autopsy. Monica Reza, she's been missing for almost 13 months. JPL, also tied to Aerojet Rocketdyne. Grillmayer, he was shot in 2026, February. Tied to Caltech, which guess what it manages? JPL. 4 people are tied to JPL or Caltech. Dead or missing in a 3-year window. JPL has issued 0 public statements on any of them. 0. Then we have the Mondaloy chain, which I think, I have a link for this one too. Mondaloy, we talked about that one a little bit briefly. Now this one, I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. I'm all but certain that this article was written by some AI because it said that it was written by the Sentinel Network. And as somebody who uses AI literally all day long, I can just tell you when things are read and written by AI. This website is made by AI. I know that because I have a website that I made by AI. So hey, Sentinel Briefing, you guys should make a better website. I'm just saying that. You guys are clearly getting a lot of hits on your stuff. You can invest in somebody to make your own platform. But anyways, no shade because they actually did some of my work for me. Mondaloy, this is from this article, by the way. All of this article, this data is pulled from, which I'm going to have a hard time reading because, again, it's literally just AI. But Mondaloy, I apologize. Let me go get my inhaler real quick, actually. I am a little bit raspy. I gotta breathe real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to breathe better. I've been talking at you for 90 minutes. Okay. So, Mondelloy is a nickel-based superalloy that solves one of the hardest problems in rocket propulsion. Running an engine on oxygen-rich fuel without the oxygen eating the engine itself. You guys got to remember, this is basically liquid oxygen. Like, actually, try to imagine that for a moment. Now, this is inside American national security rockets right now. Dallas Hardwick co-invented it with Monica Reza. Here's the shitty part. He already died in 2015. Monica Reza patented it and scaled it for production. She's been missing since June of last year. General McCaslin, the Air Force laboratory that oversaw the programs that it went into, he's been missing since February. The inventor is dead. The engineer is missing. Their boss, the general, is missing. Every person who held the complete picture of how this alloy moved from a lab bench to inside an American rocket is gone. That is not a statistical cluster. That is a supply chain of classified knowledge, right? It's a chain of custody, and it has been severed. So don't tell me that there's not a connection, because I literally just got done proving it. Now that is chapter 2. Chapter 3, we're going to go into the official response. This is CBS News, good article. This is honestly worth reading carefully. Same thing, not for what it says, but actually for the subtext. As always, guys, we want you to read into the things that are actually not literally stated there, right? So look into what it doesn't state. Here, I'll share my screen. Boom. So, and the FBI statement is, and this is the actual quote. I'm not going to find it right here. Maybe I will.
What? I never used to read the back of cleaning products. Then I became a parent, something clicked. I started actually looking at what I was spraying on my countertops in my kitchen, surfaces that my kids touch every day. And I realized I had no idea what half of it was. Not because I'm not smart, just because nobody's talking about it. So I went down a rabbit hole. Ingredients, safety lists, requirements as to what they actually have to put onto their label. It's genuinely wild how little transparency is actually required in an industry that you and your children interact with every single day. We want to be transparent about what's included.
Goodness gracious, I didn't realize I shared the wrong screen. I'm so sorry about that. So I had to find the right thing, which is fine, but we're going to go from that again. I'm not sure how much of you guys didn't hear about that. It should just be about a minute. The FBI is spearheading the effort to look for connections into the missing and deceased scientists. We're working with the Department of Energy, Department of War, and with our state and local law enforcement partners to find answers. Note, the Department of War, not the Department of Defense. The DOD was renamed under Trump. That is now its current official name. I don't like that. This is, again, the guy that was voted in by most of my peers, because most of my peers are pretty conservative leaning, which is fine. I don't have an identity against anybody personally. But most of my peers voted for Trump for no new wars, and then they literally renamed a department that's for defense, and then they renamed it for war. So we didn't get what we voted for. I didn't vote for Trump, but we didn't get what we voted for. Now, House Oversight, they sent formal letters to Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth calling this a grave threat to national security. The White House, Caroline Leavitt, she's the gal that's about to have a baby, if she hasn't already. She probably already has, actually. But this gal right here, Caroline Leavitt, she confirmed that we needed a holistic review of everything. Trump said, and quote, "I just left a meeting on this subject. Pretty serious stuff. Hopefully it's coincidence. But some of them were very important people." So he knew already. He's been briefed. Trump's been briefed. He knew that this was going to be an issue. And he's only telling us what he wants us to know. If you think Trump's just an idiot, I don't think that's the case. These people don't get to their positions in power by being willful idiots. I think they are willful idiots, but they're also a lot more savvier than we give them credit for. Hold Trump's feet to the fire, right? He knows more than he's letting on. What's up, Joe? How you doing, dude? I hope you're doing well. Sport Busters for life. Hell yes. By the way, since we're on that topic, real quick, a few of you guys have been asking what the update is on the business. Sport Busters is still coming. Working with suppliers is one of the hardest things in the world. No BS, guys. It is easier for me as a 28-year-old college dropout to program an entire website by myself than it is to work with these product manufacturers. It's really hard. So my last product that I made, it worked really great and then it turned blue, which you guys already know about. But that's what I'm in the process of. I'm working with a new manufacturer. I'm trying to find something good. And we should be good to go once that works. But I'm waiting on my sample. My sample's going to the mailbox. It's taking some time. So that's where I'm at. I'm still working on the website. Things are looking good in the meantime. But basically, I have my landing page. And then when you click things, it'll take you to a new page, like your cart or your product page. I don't want to make the cart or the product page until I actually have a product in hand, right? So really right now, it's kind of just a waiting game. I have secured funding. I am going to get somebody who will fund this with me, which is huge. So hopefully, dude, fingers crossed between my podcast and my side business. Hopefully my wife is unemployed in a year. That'd be fun. But Trump said that this is a big, big deal. Trump said this is a big, big deal. Now, here's what he's going to say. Let's see. Is it on here? Oh, shoot. I don't think it has the link or the quote. Okay. Trump said a quote. It's not on this exact article, but I'm going to read it to you anyways. Trump on April 17th said, "I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half." Like I said at the top, it's been a lot longer than a week and a half. It's been about 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks. Nothing has been publicly released. Let's go into what the skeptics say a little bit. Media sociologist Robert Bartholomew, a lot of big words, called it apophenia. Apophenia? That's a good one. Apophenia. I think it's what it is. Apophenia, which basically means seeing patterns and random noise. Science writer Mick West said 700,000 people hold top security clearances in aerospace and nuclear. Expected mortality would account for multiple incidents per year naturally. Okay. McCaslin's own wife said his secrets were dated. Taking him for classified info was pretty unlikely, is basically what he said. Or what she said. Now here's my hard counter. The statistical argument only works if these cases are randomly distributed across 700,000 people. I've already proved over the last 70 minutes that they're not. They work at JPL. They cluster at JPL. They work at Wright-Patterson. They cluster at Wright-Patterson. They cluster at Los Alamos. They cluster at well, I already said it, but New Mexico and rocket propulsion, fusion, exotic physics, and nuclear energy. The question isn't whether scientists die. They do. The question is whether this scientific group of people, this specific concentration at these specific institutions in these specific specialities or specialties fits the expected distribution. Nobody has answered that with actual data. Nobody. They have just said a lot of people have clearances and a lot of people die. That's not math, dude. That's deflection. So that's chapter 3. Chapter 4, the questions that don't have answers. I'll leave a lot of this one up to you. That's the whole point of this, right? Full face cam. That's just me, baby. Okay, cool. I thought I had a link here, but it's my own notes say just you, baby. Okay, now I'm not going to tell you that I have the answers because that was literally the whole point of this entire thing. I just told you I'm asking questions. Nobody knows the answers publicly. Anybody claiming that they do, dude, don't listen to them. Click out of their video right out the gate. Anybody claiming to know everything, they are a liar. They might be a Fed too. So get out of there. Don't engage with them anymore. And between us, the viewers, and you, or me and you as the viewers, I should say, I had to stop watching Candace Owens. Honest to God. She's interviewed 2 people in the last 2 weeks, and it doesn't pass the sniff test anymore. She's literally a reporter. She's literally a journalist, and she can't conduct an interview. And that scares me. And when she does conduct an interview, she literally tells you she's going to be in control and she's going to control the narrative. That's a red flag for all of us. And I'm subscribed to Candace Owens. I'll literally pull up her channel right now. I don't want to have anybody try to say, "Oh, you're just a hater." No, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. I'll pull this up literally on my camera. Look at this. Subscribed with all notifications on. Okay, I don't want nobody telling me that I'm a hater of Candace Owens. I am not. I can scroll for days and show you all of the videos of hers I've watched. It's only recently I've stopped watching her videos. Oh, it didn't go in order. It didn't go in order because they got Ian up there. Oh my God, she restarted this old channel. I forgot that. I was going to try to show you all of the videos I've watched, but it's not going in order for sure because Ian Carroll was literally a year ago. But to highlight a lot of things, I have watched the majority of her channel. Oh, duh, it's her lives that I watch. That's what I should be doing. There it is. Look at these. I've watched so many of her episodes, okay? I've watched so many of her episodes. I just now realized you're only seeing a third of this because I got the full screen. I have watched so many of her episodes, guys. You see all the red lines. You see them all. I have missed maybe an episode or 2 recently, and then after that, I've watched every episode for the past 2 years. Okay? Big fan of her. However, that's me. I didn't mean to put me up. However, something's wrong, dude. Something's wrong. I don't think that she's a fed. I think that she's dangling a carrot on the stick too much, and she's wasting time. She's also distracting us. And I don't want to do that no more. I just want to focus on what's right. And that's where I'm at. So just being transparent with you, I'm taking a break from Candy O. I like Candy O. I hope she's doing well. But I feel like she's leading us astray as the viewers. So again, I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers, but that's part of the reason why I stopped listening to hers, because she does. She hits you with that, "Oh, I got it, and it's me and my team that we're never going to put a face to. We're just going to name them sometimes, but me and my team, we're going to get all the answers. Got to tune in." And she does that literally. She'll say, "Tune in to tomorrow's episode where we break it down further." Dude, no. If tonight's topic is this, that button's going to be red until I'm fucking done talking about it. Excuse my French, but the emphasis is on the F, right? We are 100 minutes in, and I'm still going strong because it's the same topic. I'm not going to do that tune in next week crap. Maybe I will if it's 100 Epstein names, because that's, but if we're on a topic, we're on a topic. So I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers, but I am going to continue to ask questions. Here's some of the answers I do have. Frank Mywald died July 4th, 2024. No cause of death was ever released. No autopsy was ever performed publicly. Questions. How does a senior JPL engineer die and receive no institutional acknowledgement? Not a tweet, not a press release. One obituary that was literally a couple paragraphs. Dude, I'm not trying to minimize my dad's career, but my dad died at 27 years old with only a 6-year career in the military. You should have seen the response he had. Almost the whole Ranger Battalion flew out to a tiny little town in Kansas for his funeral. He had multiple obituaries, one here in the state, one back in Kansas where he's from. You get where I'm going with it. My dad had a small resume, and he had a bigger public acknowledgement for his own death. And a reminder that he was killed by an Army Ranger. So they weren't exactly keen on admitting what happened, but they did. Okay. Monica Reyes' family said the FBI never contacted them, despite the White House announcing a review, specifically including the case. Is this investigation real, or is it just a pressure release valve? Honest question. Monica's companion directed her to go this way, and then became irritated and told everybody to go this way, go this way, go this way. Got mad when they went this way. Has he been formally interviewed under oath? Has his account been independently verified? Because at this point, I only know him as the male companion, guys. I'm the one doing the research for you. I've got his name as male companion. What's going on there? Has his account been independently verified? Where's the female companion that was huffing and puffing and she had to stay back? What was her first impression of the situation? Melissa Cassius, or Cassius, I apologize if I'm getting these names wrong. Cassius factory reset her phone before she disappeared. Police say no foul play suspected. What is the explanation for wiping a phone if you're simply going for a walk, dude? Stephen Garcia and General McCaslin. They both left their phones at home, but they took their firearms. Neither has been found. What does the forensic evidence at each scene actually show? I'm asking for transparency, guys. That's all I'm asking for. I don't have the answers. I'm asking for them. I'm literally asking for the answers, okay? The Mondalloy chain, or Mondalloy chain. One inventor dead. One engineer missing. One general missing. What is the current operational status of the propulsion systems that rely on this technology? Has anyone with clearance asked that in the classified briefings? Excuse me. Trump said we'll know in a week and a half. It's been 5 weeks, Trumpy. What was found? What hasn't been released? Why hasn't it been released? I have questions, guys. I have questions. Can you tell I'm getting agitated? Why has no aerospace institution like JPL, NASA, Caltech, Aerojet, Rocketdyne, MIT, why haven't a single one of these guys issued a single public statement about any one of their missing or dead employees? That last one is the one that gets me. It's not the deaths or the disappearances, dude. It's the silence. When a jet propulsion lab employee who co-invented a strategic national security technology vanishes and her employer doesn't say anything to us, that silence is data. Not only is it data, but it's very emotional data. It's cryptic. It's very hard to digest. It's hard to take in. It means that they know something the public is not supposed to. And that is the most unsettling detail on this entire list. So these are the 11 people. They're real names. They are real careers with real families. I'm not telling you that they were all killed by the same person or even the same government. I'm not even telling you that this is a coordinated operation. But I am saying that there's 11 people connected to America's most sensitive programs: nuclear, aerospace, rocket propulsion, fusion, and exotic physics. They're all dead or missing in a 3-year window. 3 connect directly to the same base. 4 connect to the same laboratory. The woman who invented that rocket alloy that I've talked about a million times now, she vanished alongside the general who commanded it. All of that needs to be investigated. Every institution that employed him has gone radio silent. Now, the FBI now claims it's investigating. Congress is asking questions. The president said that it was serious, and then that's it. Nothing. Nothing since. That's the whole story. Not what happened to him. Just what happens after everyone admits that it's serious. And then they say nothing. That's why we turn the pages around here. You guys have yourself a good one, man. I'll comment here in a little bit with the links to this video. As always, like, share, subscribe. I don't want to sound too redundant, but hey, I just hit 100 subscribers a week ago, and now I'm at 123. 123. We're making big growth. So please help me grow faster. Help me grow more organically. Share these with the people that you think will enjoy this type of content. Of course, it's very niche. I don't want you to send this to your grandmother that thinks that the government would never hurt her. Send this to the people that are actually very high IQ, the people that question things at their face value immediately, even if it's their loved ones telling it to them. Share this, guys. Let's grow. I want to be a big channel by 2027. I think that's a very realistic goal for me. And it'll get there with your help and with my content. So if you guys like what we've done, share that. If you don't like what we've done, complain about that. Let me know what I could do to do better. As I stated, I'm going to try to get these links posted here in a little bit for you guys in a comment. I'll pin that comment in the description, or not in the description, excuse me. I'll pin that comment at the end. And then you guys will be able to see everything. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the new viewers that have tuned in, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Cheers.